These aren't just random NFL stars. They're switching teams, getting traded.
Breaking news from the NFL, Maxx Crosby is heading to Baltimore.
And one legend's even coming out of retirement.
But I'm coming out of retirement.
And first, Stefon Diggs' move would have him copying NFL legends. See, people instantly started speculating about where Diggs would play when the Patriots released him after just one season, and funny clips like this came out.
You've got too many baby mamas. You're a 32-year-old receiver who can't catch passes in the playoffs. I gotta cut you. Coach, I'm the best receiver you got. This isn't a negotiation, Stefon.
But alright, even though fans fantasized about him playing for their favorite team like the Bengals, Jets, or the Cowboys, only one team made complete sense: the Ravens. Not only is Diggs familiar with their color scheme and looked dope in it since he already rocked purple with the Vikings, he literally grew up a Ravens fan since he was born in Maryland where they play, and even went to college in that state. I mean, that's why he literally told the Ravens he wanted him to draft him in the first place. So knowing all that, fans and former players were telling him to come home and definitely wanted to see the move happen. Besides, Diggs joining the Ravens would finally give Lamar Jackson someone reliable to throw to, and he'd be a part of an elite group of legendary receivers like Deshaun Jackson, Dez Bryant, OBJ, and DeAndre Hopkins, who were all stars and ended up playing for them at the end of their careers. But Kyler Murray's move this offseason could involve a completely different sport. The Cardinals already made it clear they didn't want him as their quarterback and dropped his ass. So once rumors came out about where he'd play next, the Jets were the first team that popped up, which suck ass. So I was thinking, no. Regardless, it seems like people would rather see him play for the Vikings, a team Kyler has connections with and desperately needs a quarterback.
Good situation for him and where he could thrive, especially Minnesota.
Now, it wasn't just sports shows predicting he'd go there. His former teammate posted about how pairing him with Justin Jefferson would be scary, then fans found clips of him and JJ acting like friends, old tweets of Kyler cheering for the Vikings, and a moment where he revealed his favorite team growing up.
I like the Vikings when I grow up.
But as likely as it seems that Kyler will end up wearing this new jersey next season, people also realize that he could actually end up saying screw football overall. Like, did you even know Mans was drafted to the MLB before the NFL? He was originally going to play for the Athletics, and now, not only does he still have the chance to switch sports, that team who drafted him just said they're open to him returning. Kyler playing with wooden balls next year would be insane.
All right.
That's what he was talking about.
But another star is only making a move this offseason, after losing over $100 million. That happened to Trey Hendrickson, who was the absolute best player on the Bengals defense, who recently had one of the craziest seasons by any defensive lineman in years. But even though sports analysts agreed he deserved a contract worth over $100 million, he never got it, which eventually made him start looking at other teams when he recently became a free agent, like the Colts. Not only did news come out that the Colts actually tried getting him the year prior, the team also hired Trey's former defensive line coach from the Bengals. And with the Colts already finishing 15th in sacks last season, adding Trey would instantly make their D-line unstoppable.
But they still need to fix that edge rush position, and who better to do that than Trey Hendrickson, who is currently unhappy playing in Cincinnati, where he's been happy for some time.
Once Colts fans heard that, the fans tried speaking the move into existence by seeing how good Trey would look in their jersey, because they knew their team had the ability to offer him a contract he deserved worth over $100 million. But alright, that will be a smart move. Unlike another player move this offseason that's not only confusing to me, it's making an entire organization look stupid. And ironically, that's the Seahawks, which sounds crazy considering they just won the Super Bowl. Their running back Kenneth Walker literally just helped carry them to glory, won MVP of the game, and has been dominant for their squad for years. But when it was announced that the Seahawks weren't trying to pay him and let him hit free agency, NFL world was stunned. From people wondering what the hell the Seahawks were doing and saying their dynasty is ending the second it got started, to posting about how without Walker they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. Nobody could believe what they were thinking, especially when he was immediately linked to joining the Chiefs. Yeah, I hated reading that too, because a good running back has been one of the few things holding them back from being overpowered and winning like the last 10 Super Bowls. And to make the situation worse, that's why when the Chiefs heard that he was available, they instantly traded another top player of theirs to free up $14 million in cap space, the exact amount that Walker's expected to cost in free agency.
Chase, if you're Kenneth Walker, which teams should be after you in free agency?
Well, Graz, you teased with it. It's the Chiefs. Look, they got Patrick Mahomes. They have the weapons. They have everything that they need. They've struggled to actually get the run game going. They're losing two guys this year. They're going to need somebody like Kenneth Walker, not only in between the tackles, but someone who's a speed threat that can take vertical down the football field. And he's a much better catcher of the football out of the backfield.
Signs kept pointing towards the Chiefs adding Walker to make their offense even better, and just seeing him in that jersey has already given me visions of him dominating with them. But Deebo Samuel's move this offseason involves some of the most devastating moments in recent history. It's all because of what happened to not one, not two, but three players on the 49ers. First, after Ricky Pearsall was robbed and shot. Although he thankfully survived and had a decent season last year, it's still taking him a bit to get back to the level of production people expect. Then, second, Brandon Ayuk was supposed to be their star receiver until he started feeling like the team was giving up on him and was seen speeding over 100 miles an hour past the 49ers stadium for no reason and eventually got his contract voided by the team.
But I'd say it officially stopped for me when the last time I tried to get a hold of him and couldn't, and then tried a couple more times and still couldn't. And then that matched everyone else that was trying to get a hold of him and couldn't. And eventually, there's not much of an explanation because it's really hard for us and anyone else to understand. And that's why it's something I've never seen in 22 years of coaching.
After that, I didn't think things could get any worse for the 49ers. Until the third player was star George Kittle, who suffered a torn Achilles and is expected to miss the majority of next season. So now with bad things happening to three of their best offensive weapons, on top of their best receiver last year, Juwan Jennings, also now being a free agent, everything started pointing out towards a reunion with free agent Deebo Samuel. Not only did he have the best years of his career there while pretty much being the team leader and is known to absolutely love playing for them, he struggled and didn't play well with the Commanders when he switched teams. And nowadays, there were some recent hints dropping about him possibly returning, like when he was partying with the team during Super Bowl weekend, and when Kittle sounded like he had some insider information or something.
Message for Niners fans. Hey, if a rebuild year got us 13 wins and a win in the wild card, that's pretty good. It's only gonna get a little bit better from that. And all the boys are coming back again. And who knows, we might add some past friends. Past friends.
Wow, who we talking?
I don't know, I hung out with Deebo last night, that was fun.
You like that?
I love Deebo, are you kidding
You want
me?
him back on the Niners?
I love Deebo, that's all, I love Deebo.
We'll keep it at that.
Now, as real as he made it seem, nobody actually had to pretend this time of what could happen by making jersey swaps for this man, cause, everyone could easily see him doing what he used to by once again leading the team up for week 1 next to a dude with a huge speaker on his shoulder. But arguably the craziest move this offseason is about to make a team unstoppable. See, the Bills are almost already unbeatable with their group of pretty mid pass catchers. And with Josh Allen damn near being able to carry them with talent like that, everyone felt like they're just a few receivers away from making the Super Bowl, and we're gonna make crazy moves this offseason.
We have breaking news out of the NFL. According to Adam Schefter, wide receiver DJ Moore is being traded to the Buffalo Bills.
Oh my god. As I was making this video, news literally popped up on my screen about DJ Moore being traded to the Bills, which finally gives Josh some help and completes one of the 2 moves they wanted to make. Because once future Hall of Famer Mike Evans became a free agent this offseason, the Bills didn't just show interest in signing him, they perfectly matched his criteria. Evans wanted a quarterback he believes in? Check. Evans wanted a chance at another Super Bowl? Check. He also wanted a good offensive coordinator, which they just signed? Check. And finally, he wanted to get lots of targets, and knowing how that offense plays? Definitely check. Alright, now while everyone realized that, and while fans already knew how good he looked in that red, white, and blue Pro Bowl jersey and put him in a real Bills jersey to see the fit, I just want to see how well he fits with Josh Allen, who needs to win a damn ring for once, which is likely to happen if Evans joins them since not only did he already win one before, a move like that would make them unstoppable. But one legend's even coming out of retirement.
But I'm coming out of retirement.
But speaking of Tom Brady, first, Lamar Jackson's offseason move actually involves the GOAT. No, not that one. Brady has a lot to do with Lamar's next team. See, Lamar's switching because even though he's played like a god to win multiple MVPs, since his Ravens have never been good enough to do anything in the postseason, they literally got him turned into a meme and looking like the James Harden of the NFL. Lamar's relationship with the team has been crashing down. Lamar apparently falls asleep in meetings, plays video games too late, and neglects his body now. Then after losing a game, when he was asked if he'd be the Ravens quarterback next season,
do you feel you'll be back as the Ravens quarterback next season?
We just lost a game, a divisional game, a game to put us in the playoffs. I'm not even thinking about that right now, to be honest with you. I'm still caught up in what just happened, That's not my focus right now.
So yeah, once Lamar didn't commit to staying with them, more trade rumors and posts than I can count came out about him in other jerseys like the Vikings, where he'd team up with Justin Jefferson, replace Concussion Boy on the Dolphins and team up with Tyreek Hill. Even the Steelers and Jets got thrown in the mix, but they're ass and nobody wants to see those. So honestly, the biggest move involving Tom Brady is getting Lamar sent to the Raiders. Not only are they the only team with the most valuable trade asset, aka the first overall pick in the draft, Brady recently became an owner and is known to absolutely love Lamar.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, doing some great stuff.
Appreciate that.
Keep it up, man. Big fan.
First time I ever really noticed you was that high school highlight where you put the brakes on the guy and he went flying by. And, you know, not that I've ever had that experience in my entire life. I don't even know what that feels like, but now you're doing that at the highest level. You know, you're the reason why people watch the NFL, because guys like you and just had an amazing career. So thanks for coming on.
I appreciate that. It means a lot coming from you.
I've never heard Brady be so head over cleats for another player. And knowing that Lamar also loves Brady back,
Tom Brady definitely the one at the top.
He's the goat of all good.
Definitely.
and becoming the new quarterback for the Raiders only became more obvious after Lamar retweeted a pic of a kid wearing his jersey while holding a Raiders football, where the caption mentioned it was predicting his next move. Lamar on the Raiders definitely looks like it's going to be crazy, and I know he'd be happy to be there. But Justin Jefferson is only making an off-season move to avoid his career being ruined. The thought of that is sad to some fans who learned about his trade rumors, cause he quickly turned into their favorite player while dominating on the Vikings. But even though man went absolutely off during games, made unreal catches like this one that won him an award, and made a name for himself by having some of the craziest swag I've ever seen, his career is now crashing down. The Vikings made a big mistake not keeping their solid quarterback who gave him a chance at the playoffs like Jefferson was used to. You know, this man who went on to literally win the Super Bowl immediately right after. But anyways, this year their quarterback was so bad that he didn't just lead the team to finishing almost last in the division and get turned into the most mean player of the year. He threw such bad passes that it made Jefferson slam his helmet in disgust and caused him to have the worst year of his entire career, so he let everyone know his true feelings.
You know, a lot of people base it off of the quarterback play and, you know, just different things that really go into my position. Obviously, I got to depend on a lot of people in order for me to get that ball. So, you know, if I don't have, you know, an elite position or elite quarterback that's throwing me the ball the entire year, then it's a little bit difficult to be in those conversations.
Yeah, people heard that and knew he needed a real quarterback, and who also desperately needs some help from him? Crybaby. I mean, Josh Allen. Josh also needs some help from losing every year in the postseason. That's why the world's been wanting JJ on the Bills so badly. I mean, fans are literally already putting him on the team in Madden.
We should have him for the touchdown.
It's been predicted for a while that JJ would end up there. Fans have been putting JJ in that sexy red, white, and blue jersey for a while, and I can already see JJ rocking a chain like this now. But instead of shutting all those trade rumors down, fans felt Jefferson made it obvious when he wanted to go to the Bills since their new head coach was his coach in college, and even picked dude when it came to building the perfect team.
You gotta pick a current player. Are you ready?
Yep. You got Buffalo. Since it's my dog, I'm gonna go Joe Brady.
Honestly, after hearing that, I'm hoping the move does happen, and pairing him with Josh Allen wouldn't just be unstoppable, it would save both their careers. But Tyreek Hill's move this offseason was different, because it involved the police. Getting detained like that before a game became crucial later on and only happened during his terrible time with the Dolphins. The team consistently had a mid-record. They lost to Tyreek's former squad in their only playoff game, and Tyreek reminisced about being back on the Chiefs by constantly posting pics of himself in that jersey. So this season, after suffering a season-ending injury, all people talked about was how Tyreek clapped and said yes while being carted off, since he knew he'd never have to play for that terrible-ass quarterback again. Not only that, Tyreek started posting things like, "I want to go home," which had fans speculating that home meant Kansas City, and he even said EB to the Chiefs, after they re-signed a coach that Tyreek used to have. Now, him rejoining the Chiefs really started becoming real when news broke that the Dolphins released him. Because Tyreek instantly posted a story with his location being in Kansas City, and his former teammate that's still on the Chiefs didn't just tweet at him saying, "It's time." Tyreek was asked if he prefers playing indoor or outside during games, and all he could say was,
"I'd rather be outdoor any day of the week, man, especially in Arrowhead Stadium."
Man, but right when it seemed like Tyreek rejoining the Chiefs was a positive thing, all because of that moment earlier where he was detained by police for speeding before a game. One of the former officers who's since retired came after Tyreek saying, "I guess it took a bit, but karma got you. You're an entitled asshole and an embarrassment to the team and city that kissed your ass. Hope you're able to afford all that child support, especially now that you're unemployed. But I'm sure someone will pick you up and you'll just cause havoc in their team and city, just how you did in Miami." God damn, man. Now, I definitely don't blame Tyreek for trying to leave that city ASAP. But Aaron Rodgers' offseason move, it's becoming one of the weirdest conspiracies in NFL history. I mean, even though Aaron's known to be a weirdo,
I live between two worlds of the extroverted.
I didn't think he was followed the entire life and career exactly like another NFL legend type of weird. But ever since Rodgers became a free agent, signs started pointing towards him joining one specific team. See, the Vikings didn't just already try getting him before when their GM said they were a perfect fit for him, and fans made fake posts about him actually going there. Their quarterback JJ McCarthy played pretty bad this season, which made everyone think,
You're not that guy, pal, trust me.
Now, many people felt like the Vikings are only a quarterback away from Super Bowl contention, and Rodgers going there definitely makes sense, especially after he just had a good season with a worse team around him. Like, he set records and carried the Steelers to the playoffs, so just take a second to imagine Rodgers throwing to Justin Jefferson. Cool. Anyways, Rodgers going to the Vikings felt even more real when he actually looked normal in that jersey. Fans already customized real jerseys with his name on them, and his former teammate who currently plays there publicly recruited him.
I like him in Minnesota. I mean, that's my dog.
But if that wasn't enough encouragement, people tried reminding Rodgers of when NFL legend Brett Favre literally told him to play for the Vikings.
By all means, sign with them. They got a really good football team. They're loaded at pretty much every position. They got a tremendous fan base, much like the Packers. If you get the opportunity, that's a good place to win.
Now, alright, I doubt someone like Rodgers was waiting for his approval, but fans also wanted to see it happen. Because if he did join the Vikings, since Rodgers already played for the Packers and Jets, he'd be copying Favre, who also played for the Packers, Jets, and Vikings in his career, so the Vikings would be the last stop for Rodgers to have fully followed his elder's footsteps. But alright. That's nothing like when multiple players recruited George Pickens this offseason just to create a super team. Something like that was only possible since Pickens became a free agent and had to choose between staying with the Cowboys or do what most people expect, sign with an even better team. Because even though Pickens created unreal highlights and had the absolute best season of his career with the Cowboys, there's one other team that wants him to help make their squad unstoppable. It's the Packers, who many people not only predict to be Super Bowl contenders, adding Pickens would instantly give them arguably the best wide receiver core in the entire league. That's why Packers players Jordan Love and former Cowboy Micah Parsons, who ironically both have the same agent as Pickens, both tried recruiting him.
They're out here recruiting.
I heard that all the Packers were out there trying to get George. How do you feel about that?
Doing their due diligence, but if you can bring in another player, George Pickens, he had a phenomenal year. He's a great player. You know, I would love to have the most talented players on our team at all times.
You ready to be that green and gold?
I mean, everyone could see how much the Packers players really wanted him. And everyone eventually realized that him in a Packers jersey would actually look familiar because the color scheme is close to a different team he already played for, and man's already looked like a cheesehead with that shiesty on. But nowadays, the reality of Pickens helping turn the Packers into a super team became real for some fans, like one who literally posted about having nightmares that the deal actually happened. And if this breaking news actually popped up on a TV, I already know George would be standing around and hype like this. But I never thought two of the craziest moves this offseason actually would involve the same team. Because after Isaiah Likely turned into one of the best young tight ends in the league, he became a free agent this season, which meant he could either stay as the Ravens' backup behind Mark Andrews or go become a star on a different team. And since he literally said, I just want to be able to blossom, if we quickly look at who needs a tight end, there's only one perfect fit. The Patriots just made the Super Bowl with some tight ends that were mid, so adding Likely would instantly improve their offense. And if that wasn't just a good fit, the potential of Likely going to the Patriots started to seem even more likely. Especially after he posted a pic of himself courtside at a Boston Celtics NBA game where people noticed he liked a comment from a fan that said, "Come home, bro," because the fan knew Likely grew up in Massachusetts where the Patriots and Celtics played. But as likely as that move is to happen, even he wouldn't help the Patriots as much as AJ Brown. Because, well, I mean, unless you live under a rock, I'm sure you've heard about the drama between him and the Eagles, from getting criticized for reading a book on the sideline during games, to starting beef with his own quarterback about not getting the ball enough. Over the years, it seems like AJ's done everything he possibly could to get the hell off that team. And he hasn't just turned into a fanboy over the Patriots in the past by posting clips of signed jerseys he got from a few of their legends. He went from holding the jersey up to fans seeing how smooth he would actually look while wearing it. I swear Mans looks way better in that than he did in any green jerseys. And he knows it too. That's why this season, after he watched Drake May dominate with not the best wide receivers around him, AJ knew he could be the missing piece. At first, he was recently on two legendary Patriots players' podcasts where he hinted at joining them.
We're all Patriots. You know that, right?
Are you going to be a Patriot? Are you going to be a Patriot? Wait.
And if damn near already agreeing to go there wasn't enough, after the Eagles coach apparently couldn't guarantee that AJ would be back with the team, his own teammate admitted they might not be teammates much longer.
He is a huge Patriot fan. He's always been a big Patriots fan, and I think this year
I think before Dallas, Tom Brady was throwing him the ball. So for him, that was like, he was like a kid in the candy store. So that wink is just all fun and games. But I will give the inside scoop. AJ Brown is a big Patriots fan.
Man, if his own teammates said all of that, you already know AJ's ready to be a Patriot. Speaking of Patriots, what if I told you that Jesus is returning this year? Yeah, Tom Brady's coming out of retirement. Brady obviously returned to football before, but with all the rumors and posts about him in other jerseys already. His first announcement was him returning to the football field to play for a tournament in Saudi Arabia.
So I'm very excited to announce that I'm coming out of retirement and teaming up with His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh.
And yeah, after that announcement, Brady just couldn't help himself during another podcast. He was already fantasizing about teams making calls to him to return to the NFL, and he thinks he could literally dominate.
They called me into action right now. Would I be ready to go?
That was my next question. Would you be ready to go right now?
I'd whoop it right now, to be honest.
Would you really?
Absolutely. I could go out there and play. Give me a month. I mean, I could go play with anybody.
Really?
Seriously? Like knees
31 days.
Like knees and hips?
My body, I mean, like I said, I took care of my body great. I mean, everything is, I could do it all.